Hello, welcome to my channel Language and Life Skills. I'm Matthew Aldukanil. Friends, today we will discuss this topic of taking offense. Taking offense. Taking offense easily at differences with others and imposition of one's own personal choices are a huge handicap in any society, particularly in a large country like India, which is a lovely mosaic of various cultures, widely varying cultures with differences in religion and language, food, dress. We need not only tolerance but also warm acceptance of our rich differences. That will make us a happy, integrated, serene nation. But if we have bloated egos, superiority complex, and a poor sense of humor, then we will easily take offense at these differences. And we will perceive enemies of various hues among our countrymen. Then instead of nation building, we will have a community of strife, mutual suspicion, and ill will. Having a big heart and an open mind is important for building up a happy nation. Let us see some ways of dealing with this tendency of taking offense. Life offers us many lessons in this regard. In an either or restaurant in the US, a white family was having dinner. And during dinner, the 4-year-old boy saw a black man for the first time. And the child asked his daddy, "Daddy, why is this man black?" The parents were embarrassed. And the boy persisted, "Daddy, will the black wash off?" There was palpable tension at the restaurant. The black man slowly got up from his seat and he passed by the boy's table and he invited him. "Son, I have some dollars with me. Come with me, we will buy some candles." And holding him by the hand, he took him to the candy shop. And the tension was diffused. This black man had the wisdom and the tact to understand the innocence and natural curiosity of the little boy. And so he did not take any offense and he was able to deal with this tense situation in a very effective way. So our attitudes and wrong perceptions and lack of understanding are the cause of a lot of social tension. So this black man is a great example for us. There is another incident of an encounter between ordinary old village woman and a fashionable young man from the city. This young man was taking a ride on his fashionable bike in the countryside on a pleasant summer evening. As he was taking his ride, from the opposite side came an old granny leading a group of donkeys back from their pasturing to their home. And the young man thought he would have some fun teasing the old lady. So he stopped the bike, greeted the old lady. "Good evening, mother of donkeys. How are you?" What do you think the old lady did? Did she release a stream of abuses, foul words? No, she gently smiled at him and said, "And good evening, my son, how are you?" So he became one of the adopted sons, like the donkeys. If only our politicians had half the wit of these big wigs, we would have much more peace in our country. There is a story of a policeman one of Shakespeare's plays. I think it is Much Ado About Nothing. There are two policemen there called Lockbury and Burgess. We find in a particular scene, a court scene in the play. A ruffian has been arrested by the police and brought to the court, and the trial is going on. In the course of the trial, this ruffian calls the policeman a fool. The record clerk does not bother to write this down. But then the policeman objects and he asks the judge, appeals to the judge, please ask the clerk to write down that this fellow called me a fool. He wanted all posterity to know that he was called a fool in the court. Let's take Gandhi, the father of our nation. When he was young, he was well dressed in coat and tie and good boots. But when he became a freedom fighter, he shed all that. Once he was visiting the Queen at Buckingham Palace, and when he reached the palace, the usher told him that he could be dressed better to meet Her Majesty. He was in his usual two-piece suiting, two-piece cloth, and wearing his wooden sandals. When he was told that he could be dressed better, he quipped, "It's okay, Her Majesty has enough clothes for both of us." But dear friends, our society bigwigs, particularly politicians, often lack this sense of humor today, particularly today. But if you if you look at the life of Sir Winston Churchill, Prime Minister of England, it's a very interesting incident. One evening he was taking a walk along a narrow street. It had rained in the night, and the street was filled with water in many places. Where he was walking, there was just enough place for one person to pass. Other part of the road was filled with water. From the opposite side, there came a ruffian, and seeing the Prime Minister, he stood his ground on the dry ground, and he said, "I don't make way for fools." Prime Minister calmly replied, "But I do." And he stepped aside and let him pass. So you know who was the fool. But many of our big politicians have a small self-esteem, big egos, and so they cannot stomach caricatures and political cartoons. They take offense at them and have the cartoonists and journalists arrested. Very much unlike the great Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who encouraged cartoons, and he looked at them and he told the famous cartoonist R.K. Lakshman to continue producing them. Well, friends, a gentleman is one who respects all religions, all languages, is not easily offended by others. But regarding respect to a religion, there are extremist attitudes, very liberal and very, very conservative. In Pakistan, if you not only blaspheme the Prophet, speak disrespectfully of the Prophet or Islam, you are likely to have blasphemy charges slapped on you and put in jail, and you may face execution. On the other hand, in France, the French people have little respect for religion. They will draw cartoons, they will satirize, they will make fun, they will mock religion, and it's okay for them. But this attitude of extreme disrespect has cost the lives of many Frenchmen. In conclusion, friends, I would say I have no right to expect everyone to speak my language. I cannot expect everyone to belong to my religion. Somebody else can have another religion with a different set of beliefs and practices. I cannot impose my diet on them and prescribe what they should eat or what they should not eat. What pollutes a man is not what he eats, but what comes out of him. What is in his mind, in his heart, and what are the words he speaks. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what's in your heart? Lust, greed, gluttony. Well, these will come out in foul language, in insults. Friends, the world is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful garden with many kinds, different kinds of trees and flowers. Let us not demand that the world should contain only the tree that we like. Only tamarind trees, for example, or only rubber trees. No, there's a wide variety, and variety is the spice of life. Let us treasure this variety, and then we'll have peace and harmony in society because we have an inclusive and accommodating spirit. Thank you for your listening. I hope you liked the show. If you did, please subscribe. Bye till another time.